You know what? There aren't enough educated, progressive black male voices. No politically correct bullshit. I'm just one guy with a valuable opinion, bringing you the real, for real. First of all, I hope y'all had an amazing Juneteenth weekend. Juneteenth was yesterday, Sunday, and all the things that was going on this week, I'm sure you guys really, well, hopefully, right, Christina?
That's right.
Hopefully y'all took advantage of all of the events that were going on, Black-owned events, Black-owned like stores and discounts and things like that were going on. Even TheBLACKMedia, my company, we were doing discounts. We're still doing a discount called 35 for 35. And, just take advantage of it because the help is here for you. The celebration of life is here for you. This episode will be different from all the other episodes because something was recently brought to my attention that I had forgotten about, something that I had fought for or tried to get for months and then just kind of gave it up because I figured it was over. But then I realized it wasn't. So I'm sure you already know from the title of the episode what this is going to be about. But before we get into that, let's get into what's new with me. What's new with you? So my father came to visit me. Hey. It was kind of like a surprise visit because he kept saying that he was going to come see, and unfortunately, he ended up getting COVID and got sick and was in the hospital, and that wasn't, that was scary, right. Truly scary, and so we weren't sure if he was going to come or not, but he ended up coming, and this is a picture of my father and I. And it was great. It was great to see him. I had such a beautiful time, and I know he's going to be watching and listening. I really enjoyed the fact that because I hadn't seen my father hasn't come up, dang.
I was about to say.
Right, he's up. I'm down. Get an atlas, get a map. He hasn't come down.
Right.
He hasn't come down to see me and to see my apartment. He had never seen my studio or anything. So he was like, he really, really, really wanted to come, and he kept having to put it off. But he ended up coming, and we had such a great time. He loved my place, loved how I had everything set up, all this stuff that I work so hard for. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, my neck and my back. He was like, you're doing it or whatever. But the most exciting thing about my father coming to see me was that he was able to see me work. Most people don't see me. I'm a photographer and filmmaker and a performer. So most people don't get to see that, Right. They don't even know that I do photography or whatever. But if you were to come to my studio, you'd see all my work on the wall.
All over the walls.
And the fact that my father, I've been a photographer since 2005, and he had never seen me shoot anyone. The fact that he was able to hear and see and just, see how I put it together from start to finish. Amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It was amazing. And he saw things that I be telling people shit. I be telling people stuff. Look at me trying to not curse, so I have to do that censored damn thing. I be telling people stuff about like certain clients and things like that and what I have to do in order to get the correct photo.
Right.
And I don't think people be believing me.
I don't think they have any idea how much work goes into it. Just for that one little angle or that light. It's like, oh my gosh.
So he was able to see, and he was like, I see why you charge what you charge. Yeah. I said, now see, thank you.
Right.
It takes a lot. Listen, and this was some of my work that I shot. It takes a lot to get a quality image. Mm-hmm. But not only that, but you have to make sure that the client that you're shooting is comfortable. That's vital to getting an appropriate image. But he was able to see that. And that was beautiful. A lot of the times people like to say, Black fathers aren't in people's life. That's like a myth. That's not necessarily true. That's never really even been true.
I agree.
Black fathers aren't in the home and all this. Okay, they're not in the home maybe because they broke up. But that doesn't mean they're not coming to see you. Like, you're not going to their house. Like, that's silly. It's never really been a thing. And especially with someone like me who's androgynous or just like, feminine and masculine and very comfortable with who I am physically, whatever, in all aspects, people often try to like act like, oh, was your father in your life? I'd be like, what the fuck is y'all talking about?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Stupid. That should be pissing me off. Like, was your father in your life?
Right. Because I can't be an individual. Like,
I have to be some type of stereotypical black man in order for my father not to be in my life. Nah, he definitely was in my life. He still is. Just because y'all fatherless, let me not. Listen.
But happy belated Father's Day.
Happy belated Father's Day. That's why I was getting to. Don't do me. Don't rush me. I was trying to get into segue into that, bringing up the fact.
My bad.
Happy Father's Day, Dad, and to all the fathers out there. But Dad, thank you so much for coming. Happy Father's Day. I love you so much, and that was amazing. It was fun. Plus, we went to get something to eat, and my money is a little too funny nowadays. So the fact that he came down here and swiped that card for them steaks we had. Steaks. We had steaks. It was so good, too. Girl, let me tell you something. Their steaks weren't made correctly, my mother and my father, because it was my mother, my father, my sister, and I. My brother had came the week before. They were supposed to all come together, but, y'all saw him on the last podcast. That's when my dad was supposed to be here. Please go check out episode 3 is absolutely foolish. Please go check it out. Y'all have to. But that was the week my father was supposed to come, but it ended up not happening because, like I said, he ended up getting sick, so he couldn't come. But he came the next week, and we went to Longhorn.
Oh,
let me tell you something. That bread,
I love me. Hello?
That bread.
Hello.
This is where all the jiggly.
I was about to. You ain't gotta tell me.
Jiggly puff, jiggly. That's where all of that comes from.
Yes.
Bread. That bread is lethal. I just want to.
I know.
Meet the bread maker. Like, how you doing?
Every time. It's wonderful.
You got some more butter?
All right.
If y'all are not watching this on youtube.com/TheBLACKMedia, you should listen. But yeah, it was such a beautiful time. We had a lot of fun. And then he went home and, safe and sound. Mm-hmm. He texted me, let me know he got there safe. So that's good. But yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody. That's what's been going on with me. That was a fun weekend, an unexpected one, but a fun weekend. Set aside time to spend time with my father just before Father's Day, which, I don't always get to do that. We live in 2 different states, so to have that is just beautiful. Yeah. Not to mention, I wanted to bring this up on the podcast because a lot of times, like I said, it's like all these myths out here that black fathers aren't in your lives or whatever. It's so weird. It's not even true. I don't even know anybody who doesn't know their father. Right. I literally don't know anybody, and I'm a millennial. I don't know anybody who doesn't know their father. Right. And if they, I just don't. I'm thinking about it lately. If I was to, all my friends, I don't know anybody who doesn't. I mean, you know your father, right?
Of course.
I was about to say something. I'm gonna let that go.
He coming for you, Daddy. Just saying.
I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let that go.
But yeah, that's another day.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. What you gonna get your father for Father's Day? And I'm gonna put you on blast since you wanna.
Love.
Hey.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Love. That's what I gave my dad. Right? Listen, I don't have it. QT.
Right. But when I do have like alone time with my father, like I try to like make it really fun and just real quality time. Like for his birthday a few months ago, I took him to an escape room. And that was his first time, so it was me and my children.
Okay, the one over here?
It was, I forget the name of it, but it was really cool. It was all of our first time, me, my children, and him, and we had a wonderful time, and then we went out to eat. So yeah, I like doing stuff like that. You be spending. Where you going to take me? Yes, you do. Yeah, we never did that before. So I was like, okay, let me do that one time, and then, Oh, one time. Just one time.
One time for the one time.
He said he got the next one, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me get off your father. That's beautiful. That's amazing. See how that just made my lips chat. Ciao. Listen, I'm gonna post my Cash App just in case y'all want to donate. Because I'm out here really doing this by myself, y'all. This is really crazy. It's hard. With Christina. Right. Listen, and I don't have no money for her. I don't know why she's here.
I'm hungry.
I fed her earlier. She's like, first of all, she said, I know your ass better have that food.
I sure did.
When I get the fuck upstairs. I said, Christina.
I was like, I get off work at 3. I'll be there at 4.
Listen, I have to feed her.
Right.
Or she's not doing this. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch the goddamn turkey, cut it up, defeather it, everything.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay.
Put it on a smoker. Let it smoke from 6 to 11 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. Then take it off of there, put it in a pot, boil it with some bouillon cubes and what have you, just so I can make her some red beans and rice.
Right.
And a muffin made from scratch. Mm-hmm. And cabbage, which she ain't even eat yet because it's in the refrigerator.
Did not, but I'm going to take that home.
That's how I pay her. I
accept it.
And you accept.
With open arms.
Amen.
And a fork.
And guess what? You deserve it.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I'm going to have you take that pot and get you some more scoops.
Amen.
And take that up out of my house.
Amen.
Because it's going to sit in my refrigerator and be...
I'm a friend. A good one. I'll handle that for you.
Amen.
No problem.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Listen, why are we foolish like this? I don't know. Let's get into the next segment.
This is the real for real.
Like I said earlier, this episode is going to be a different one because I really wanted to take the time out, especially considering what I'm going to be talking about later, to really explain to you in depth why I started TheBLACKMedia. I wanted to really have a video explaining who I am. I'm Tahir Coleman Register, born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. You've heard me say this before, but that's significant because I grew up in a very rough neighborhood, a very difficult neighborhood to live in. And being a kid that I am, and I'm the same that I was, Christina. When I was a kid, I'm the same. You can ask my elementary school teachers, you can ask everybody. I am the same. I was a performer. Michael Jackson is my favorite artist. I was singing and playing instruments. People don't realize that I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I play clarinet, B-flat clarinet, bass clarinet, piano. I went to the nation's first performing arts high school called Arts High School in Newark, New Jersey, home of Tisha Campbell Martin, home of Michael B. Jordan, home of MJ Rodriguez, and me. Mm-hmm. So, okay, listen.
Just saying.
I'm going to get there.
Right.
And so I think it's important for y'all to know who I am, who my character, what my character is, what stock I come from. Right. I come from discipline. Being an entertainer, being in a performing arts high school is nothing but discipline, 24 hours a day. And I never really had a vision or dream to have a media outlet called TheBLACKMedia. That wasn't my dream. That wasn't what I was trying to do. I picked up photography in 2005 and while I was in high school and took it serious in 2010 when I was in college and studied photography in college. But I dedicated my life to the arts, literally. But the reason why I created TheBLACKMedia was because in 2013, I remember graduating college and realizing that there was no positivity for Black people on TV, in movies, reality TV shows. It was like so either none at all or so very few that it seemed like it was nothing. Yeah. And at that time, I remember there was Facebook at the time. They didn't have a lot of rules on Facebook. So they used to see a lot of videos about sex or abuse on Facebook. And I remember watching Facebook and literally seeing some Latin people chop off a woman's head. Mm. And the thing said her husband found out she cheated on her. And in the comment section was a bunch of Black men like, that's what she get. I understand. Not just Black men, but that's who I was focusing on because I don't really be looking at nobody else's race. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not trying to be, racist or something. But I don't be caring about what nobody else says. Right. But I was looking and I was like, dang, that's how y'all feel? This is crazy. Why is this even allowed up here? They bogged down on that. You don't see none of that really no more on Facebook. But there was a time where you did. And even when what was that? Star Keisha, when she punched that girl in the face. But what was the website? World Star. Yeah. Mm-hmm. World Star. Even when that was a thing where it was like World Star, people were literally doing things, fighting and beating up homeless people. Right. It was a lot of stuff that you saw a lot of Black people doing, posted online of just like fuckery. Yeah. And I was just like, this is not us. This is a very monolithic, very singular point of view of what it means to be an African American, and it was pissing me off so much. And I had just graduated college. I'm trying to, be a thespian. I had just done a musical called, what was it? It was called Mozart versus Wildhorn, and I had just starred in that musical, and I was just excited. I had done some auditions in New York. I was waiting to hear back, as an actor, like. And then I'm like seeing all this stuff online, and I'm like, I don't understand. How will I ever become a star?
Right.
I don't have. First of all, I can fight. I was about to say I don't fight, but I do. Check me. What's up? But no, I realized that I wouldn't be able to fit on a reality TV show because I don't do mess. I don't do drama. Right. And I'm like, how will I ever get myself out there? Yeah. At that time, 2013, social media was not what it is now.
Absolutely.
If I could, you can gaze into the future. If I could have gazed into the future, I would have been like, all right, let me put this video out now. Right. Let me put my music and all these things that I do, let me put it out now. Yeah. I didn't know that it was going to blow up the way it was. Especially considering the fact that before I existed as TheBLACKMedia, there was no positivity. There was no Black-owned positive news outlet. There just wasn't one. Yeah. And so that's the reason why I created TheBLACKMedia. I wanted a place, one, where I could promote myself, because I was tired of waiting for Hollywood and waiting for record label executives to pick somebody like me. I'm 6'3". At the time, I was probably like 300 pounds. Okay. I didn't have any hair. I had a buzz cut. But I still was me, just like, very comfortable in my femininity, very comfortable in my masculinity. And I'm just like, who would ever give me a chance? Right. And I could not wait for that. Yeah. So I started TheBLACKMedia, 1. 2, I saw there was a reason, there was a need for people of color to have positivity. Absolutely. Also, and this is why I'm doing this, because I wanted to really flesh out why I started this media outlet, this media company. I took a class in college called social psychology, and it changed my life. I think everybody should I think it should be mandatory from elementary, high school, and college. In order for you to graduate, you need to take social psychology because it literally opened my mind up to how we are controlled as a society. Yeah. And in social psychology, there's a lot of experiments. That's what happens. Do a lot of social experiments to see the human behavior. And the things that I was told and the things that I witnessed, even so much as commercials, like we even went there with just like TV commercials and subliminal messages within commercials that you don't even realize are there. I remember the teacher, I think her name was Dr. Connor. She said, how many advertisements do you think you see a day? And everybody was throwing out these numbers. Also, I was the only Black person in that class. I just want to be clear. But they threw out numbers. And at the time, 2013, I believe she said, you see over 1 million advertisements a day. Your brain, your body, your eyes, you see one. And everybody in the class was like, girl. Well, they weren't like that. They were more like, really? Right. We don't see that. Dr. Connor. I'm going to call my dad because I know for a fact that you're not telling the truth. Right. So, and that's how they talk. I'm not trying to be funny. That's how they talk. I would love to see how people imitate us. Anyway, let me get off that. Okay. So she said, oh, really? Oh, she was brilliant. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. She was poised. Mm-hmm. Poised white woman. Just very she knew her shit. Yeah. She said, oh, really? She said, how many advertisements do you see in this room? And I'm on the side, because I like to sit in the front, on the side and the front. And I'm looking around like, okay. She said, count. She sat down, was like, I'll take a second. And we counting. People were like 20, 30, 10, 5. Mm-hmm. She was like, okay. Pointed, stand up. Pointed, stand up. Pointed, stand up. She was like, just on your body alone, I see 20 advertisements. And when he looked down, his hat, his shirt, his sneakers, the side of his pants, the side of his shirt, 2 parts, because he had a little tag and then something on the side, on the bottom side of his shirt. The girl, it was clear on her front. Right. Then she said, turn around. Yeah. And it was on her side. And then when she turned around, it was on her back, on her butt. Yeah. And then she kept pointing at other people's sneakers and shoes, and then she pointed at the advertisement on the walls that I didn't even pay attention to. Like, she had maps everywhere, but on the maps it said, boom.
Yeah.
Where this is from, in big, bold letters. And then she turned around to the board and she was like, look. She was like, you'd be surprised how much your subconscious mind picks up on. I said, I literally said to myself, I need to get a doctor's degree in social psychology. Yeah. And one day I will. I say all that to say, along with other experiments, I've learned through social psychology that in order for you to control a mind, you need to control the media.
That's right.
Social psychology suggests that what we find attractive is a symmetrical face. It's not necessarily a European standard, as much as people think it is. It's a symmetrical face. So if we see a face that is not symmetrical, that does not have symmetry, typically the general answer for if is that attractive or not is no.
Right, correct.
And then she showed us blank images, no skin color, no hair, just like a face.
Yeah.
And she had an eye down here and an eye up here. She had she had a nose over, to the right and nose slightly down to the, and I was like, yeah, those do look a little distorted now. I ain't gonna hold you. You start to realize that your entire life, and then she said, look at these magazines. This is the real woman. This is what they retouched. Yep. And it was a white girl. I'm like, white people don't even look like this.
Right, absolutely.
So there was so many things that I learned in that class. Even the word TV. Christina, do you know the full name of that?
Is it not just television? Is something television?
It's one more word.
I'm listening.
So maybe your grandmother might have called it something growing up. Okay. You ever heard somebody say, turn on the program?
Oh, yes.
So the full word is television programming.
Yeah.
How are we not aware of that?
I know.
This is not my first time saying this. In fact, we have a mutual friend, O'Day. The first time I got interviewed ever about the Black media, it was DJ Phoenix. And I spoke about this. Television programming is what it's called when you turn on the TV. You are literally being programmed. Right. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But when you have white corporations in charge and owning damn near everything, then of course they can make you see things to program your mind.
That's right.
And when I realized that, a light bulb went off in my head and I was like, okay, so I need to be in control of my whole image, everything I do. I need to stop over-consuming things. I was a person who used to consume a lot of things. I was a very eclectic child. That year, I think that was 2010, summer 2010, I literally said to myself, I need to go on a diet from consuming white people. So whereas before I would be like watching Dharma and Greg, but also the Cosbys and, Lizzie McGuire, but also That's So Raven. Right. Whereas before I would mix it up, I stopped because I realized that there's much more programming in those white shows than there is in African-American shows. And that's because we have African-American creators who are trying to literally show representation for all, like a non-monolithic representation for us. So you don't get the same type of programming. You get the proper programming of reprogramming, which is important. I say all that to say, that was a huge reason as to why I started the Black media. Even the name, I said to myself, I need a name that's going to be so strong that people aren't going to forget it, but also they're going to understand that this is purposeful. Right. So a lot of people think that my company is called TheBLACKMedia. You're about to be shocked right now. Okay. It's actually called the Brown Leaders Artistically Cultivating Knowledge Organization. I'm not saying I'm the shit. I'm not saying I'm not.
I do remember you telling me that.
And it's because I didn't feel comfortable with the word Black. I understand that there was a lot of movements and a lot of self-love that went into the word Black, But myself, I always considered myself a person of color, a brown-skinned person. Just African Americans are brown skin. We're a variation of that. There's very few people in the world who are actually black. And so I just, I love black. I love brown skin. I love dark skin. I love, fair skin. I love us as a people. But I felt more comfortable calling us brown leaders, artistically cultivating knowledge, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I wanted to create a place where I could recondition our minds to see ourselves in a positive light all the time.
Yeah.
Not just some of the time, all the time. Because white people don't have no issue showing them rich, wealthy, Christians, successful, righteous, nothing. They do it all the time. We'll spin that news story all the time. Even when they literally go into a school and kill somebody. Yeah. He had a broken heart.
Right.
Like, no, bitch. He was crazy, insane, and knew what the fuck he was doing. Right. So I said, oh. Now, the funny thing is this, though. After I took that class, I was like, this is cute, and I let it go. I was still in my acting bag, doing my thespian thing on the stage, still going to New York auditioning. It wasn't until I graduated college where I remembered that class that I said, you know what? That social psychology class. So then I went in deep meditation like I do every day. I've been meditating my entire life. And then I thought hard on what I could do to create a platform that is going to change the way we see ourselves. Yeah. Christina, please make sure that camera is on.
It's on.
Amen. Yeah. Change the way we see ourselves. And then the words came to me. Like, it's almost like God said it.
The Black Media.
I said, God, is that you?
Thank you.
You think you can give me $1 million? It's like, can you? No.
Right. All right, fine. The Black Media. Gotcha.
I'm just going with the Black Media then. I'm asking for too much. I'm asking for too much. I get it. I understand. But the words came to me, the Black Media, and I was like, ooh, that's it. And then I created a guideline. Because I knew that in the future I would have employees and other people working on the Black Media, and I said, I want people to understand how to run this. Yeah. And so for a long time I was spelling Africa with a K, because that's significant to how the original spelled Africa. Yeah. And the C was a very colonized thing. They tried to erase history with that. So I spell Africa with a K. I still do that. I created the Tree of Soul. The tree of hope, the tree of soul. This is the symbol for the Black Media, rooted from our ancestors, which is why the tree glows. People think it's a white tree, but it's actually glowing. I write girl and boy, women and men, because for so long it was Boys and Girls Club, or Boys and Girls, or Men and Women. And just to give a little bit of balance, I said women and men. Girls and boys, little small things like that. I'm not going to give away all my things. Right. But small things like that you wouldn't even think about. I started to do that on the Black Media, and consistently, so that I can recondition the way we think about ourselves and each other. Yeah. I started showing positive images of women that you ordinarily wouldn't see. Jill Scott or Leslie. I'm forgetting her name, Les Doll. I was about to call her Les Doll because that's what her name is on Instagram. I think Leslie Jones, the comedian. Okay. Positive images of people of color that you see, women, men, etc. Different types of women, different types of men, in rock, in pop, in different genres. And all that spit, the juiciness. I started to do that because I wanted everybody to understand that we are not monolithic. That's right. We don't all think the same. We don't all want the same things. We are different. And guess what? That's okay. That is what the Black Media is. So when you see me pissed at somebody for being underneath the comment section talking crap about somebody, it's because y'all don't understand what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to curate a space of positivity so that we can have at least one thing that we don't have to hate ourselves. Because the world will tell you in so much of the programming that we do to hate yourself. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you to love yourself, love each other and our differences. Let's stop spreading misinformation. That's not what she said. This is actually what she said. So why are you saying this? That is why I created the Black Media. That is what the Black Media is for. That's why it exists. You wouldn't go to an AA meeting like, oh, but y'all not doing nothing for cancer patients. Excuse me, this is an AA meeting. We're here talking about the Alcoholics Anonymous. You would go do that there.
Yeah.
Or not at all. Like, just chill.
No, I feel you.
There are places if you want to be dark and disrespectful or rude or nasty or shady. Mm-hmm. There's places for that. Right. But not here.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I love the Black media. Even before we started doing this, I was like, oh, this is great. And I would notice every time you would catch a comment and be like, oh, no. That's not what we do here. Or delete it or just try to check somebody real quick. Because when people see like a positive thing, any kind of thing, they don't even know how to act half the time. Because it's not bringing drama. They don't know how to find that in themselves to react the correct way. So I love it.
Thank you.
For what you do. I think the fact that it's called the Black media, people might get offended, like some of those comments we saw the other day.
Girl.
And it's like, because I said black, like that bothers you now, like that kind of thing. And so,
considering there's so many white-owned media outlets, stop. Like, they might not say that it's the white media.
Right. Hello?
But when you look on it,
hello,
it's white. Right. AF.
So yeah.
And I still hold truth that I'm the first and the only fully Black-owned, no gossip, no rumors, no negativity news outlet in the world. Yeah. And it's hard. People are not programmed or conditioned to want positivity. So when I'm doing it, it's hard for me to make money. It's hard for me to get viewership. It's hard for me to do anything. But guess what? I do it. And this is my activism. That's why I chose entertainment. Because I knew that we live our lives through it. And if I could tackle entertainment and use that to get the bigger picture, child, this thing done shut off. All right, hold up. Don't do me. You know what? I was in the zone and the computer just shut off. But that's why I chose entertainment, because we live our lives through it. So if I could, like I said, pick an issue in entertainment, because we all would know about it, and then look at the bigger picture, I thought to myself, yeah, this will be the way to recondition our minds in a positive way. I don't contribute to the 24-hour news cycle. Because when you have a 24-hour news cycle, motherfuckers start making stuff up so that they can fit it in the news cycle, because y'all keep running this news. Mm-hmm. So after a while, it's not even really news. They just putting stuff in, like everything is not news. Like, just stop. I purposefully care about what you read under my comment section, because I want to curate a safe space so that your mentality isn't effed up. Girl, okay, do you? Thank you. Thank you. Understand that what I'm doing is activism, because I don't get paid for it. Ask me how much I made on the Black media last year.
How much did you pay?
Girl, it was under $1,000. I supplement my income being a photographer and filmmaker and business consultant and creator. I don't get paid. I don't have a living wage on the Black media. So believe me, it's activism. It's coming from the heart. It's coming from the heart. Because I care about my people so much. Yeah. Which brings me into this last segment. That after all I do, this is what happens to me. Let's get into the thoughts from I wanted to bring y'all something cool first. This beautiful painting was done by my mother. Her company is called Sugar Trinks. Sugar Trinks, because we got trinkets and things. Listen, she does earrings, she does coffee, mugs, all kinds of things. And this particular piece right here, I asked her to make this for my apartment. I have several things around my house. Those paintings right there, those are my mom's. Y'all can't see them, but those are hanging on my wall. Those are my mother's. I also got some stuff in my bathroom. That one hanging over there, that's my mom's too. So listen, Sugar Trinks, look out for Sugar Trinks, because we got some things coming for you guys. And if you want some, custom pieces, you better have your money. Listen, you see why I'm bringing this up? Have your money. You see what I did with that? That segue was sexy. Have your money, because you ain't gonna get quality art and not pay my mother. Now, it's one thing if you don't pay me. You don't pay my mother, chitty chitty bang bang. We with the black trucks, pulling up. I don't play about my folk or my money. Listen, I just want to preface before I even go into detail with this. Lifetime did not pay me, and they ended up still using my work. That is illegal. I am a photographer. I was supposed to be paid to do a job. I thought when they did not pay me, they weren't going to use my work. Right. And they still used it. And I didn't receive a damn dime. So if you're watching this, tag Lifetime. Hey, where's my money? The movie is called Single Black Female. And I think it was around September of last year. So September 2021. It was a last minute thing. I was asked by a friend who is not to blame here. She wasn't even there. Right. It was a job that she passed over to me. You know, that's just like good look. Like she just looking out for me. And, you know, she was like, yeah, so if you want to do this, they're looking for someone this, you know, today, if you can do it now. It'll only be like 10 or 5 minutes or whatever like that. You'll probably make like $150 quick. But, you know, it's a lifetime credit. I was like, yo, that's dope. Cool. That'll work for me. Mm-hmm. So I went. I spent my own money to get there because I don't drive. And if I did drive, that's my own gas. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got there on time and waited for hours. Hours. And was put in this small room. Set up my lights, set up my camera, got everything ready. The actress, beautiful actress, Raven Goodwin. This is not a reflection on her. So please don't be messy and like tag her and stuff. She had nothing to do with this. She ain't running that. Right. She came in, I introduced myself, it was very professional. I took the images, quick. She was like, wow, these are great. I said, thank you, that's what I do. Yeah. She picked the ones that she liked. We said, okay, put those to the side. She changed outfits, we did it again. After she was finished, I was talking to one of the art directors, I believe the #1 art director there. I cannot remember her name right now. But, you know, she was like, thank you so much, and we'll be in touch with you as far as payment is concerned. Okay. And I was like, okay, cool. That's great. I'll go home. Because I've worked in Hollywood before. I've been an actor for a long time. Right. I remember doing a job once and not getting paid for like 6 months. Oh, yeah. So I was like, you know.
Yeah, even with modeling, it could take about 3.
Yeah, stuff takes time. So I wasn't tripping about that. Right. And so I called the girl who looked out for me. And she was like, yeah, just send them an invoice. And this is the email you send it to. I was like, okay, cool, great. Did the invoice, sent the email. The email says, hello, attaches a link to Raven Goodwin's character shoot. Also attached, as per request of the lady, to give me the job, is the invoice. Please let me know if you need anything else. The editor should be able to make these plain white backgrounds and easily remove anything unwanted in the image. I added the raw files as well. Okay. I gave you raw files, professional email. I did my job. I showed up. I did what I was supposed to do. Yeah. Now, mind you, the people who were involved were all African-American people, and unfortunately, that's a reflection upon them. I've worked with, my entire life is applied by Black women, so I don't necessarily think that Black people are not good in business. But for this to happen on a large scale like this, when you know this is illegal, this is my intellectual property, I did this, I own it. Yeah. I didn't sign any release. I didn't give you ownership of nothing. And you still use my images and you do not pay me. Yeah. That's a no-no. Let me just say, too, the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because I literally forgot about it. From September to November, I tried to get that money. Oh. And it was only $150. But I'm a struggling artist. Right. I don't give a damn if it was... I was about to say, it could have been $10. I don't give a crap if it was a penny. Right. It's yours. My penny. That's right. Huh? Mm-hmm. So I tried. And when I did not have success, I assumed they weren't going to use my images. Right. So it wasn't until I was on the phone with my best friend and she was like, oh yeah, you saw this movie, Single Black Female? I was like, no. I think my work was supposed to be in there, but they probably didn't even use it. She was like, your work? I said, yeah, they told me it was going to be some images for like the talk show hosting and it would be something they look at or whatever. And she was like, wait, is it this? And she sent me a screenshot. And I could have cried. Ooh. I just assumed they didn't use it. Yeah. Because they didn't contact me anymore. Right. After I tried for months, they didn't contact me anymore. And the fact that I forgot about that movie, because it was a Lifetime movie, it wasn't like some like major feature or something. I was like, well, they probably not going to use it. Right. To see my work... used? Yeah, that would have hurt my feelings. And then she said they looked at that image several times during that movie. I said, what?
No.
I said, I'm bringing this up on a podcast because I am tired of being taken advantage of. I just explained to y'all that I do this work for my people. Yeah. I don't make a lot of money. It's really, Christine, it's a It's a struggle. Every job counts.
Right.
I don't have time to be like not getting paid for some shit y'all using.
Yeah.
Lifetime.
Right.
Huh? Y'all should know better. Why? How did you even release a film without release forms of the works that you were doing?
Absolutely.
Did the art department lie and say that they did it? Now, if I find out some shit, be clear. That would be the end. Let me get off that because that just made me anyway. But I sent that email and the art department said, thank you, Tahir.
Oh, period.
Thank you. You're welcome, I suppose. I said, no problem. Just a follow-up email. Now, that was September 9th. This is September 20th. Okay. No problem. Just a follow-up email. Can you send the payment here? This is my Cash App. This is my Zelle. And then I got an email to my personal email address, which I never even gave them. I don't know how they got that, but I thought it was very weird, so I didn't know if it was real or not, because people be doing things. And I said, hello, someone by the name of, I think this is Angie Lee, contacted my personal email, which I'm not sure how she got it, but she inquired about sending a W-9 form for payment. Now, this is October.
Okay. Yeah.
But she inquired about sending a W-9 form of payment. I just remembered it. And would feel more comfortable sending it here to you all, since I had contact with y'all. I don't know this person.
Right.
I said, since this is the initial communication I had in regards to the film I shot for, if you all need a W-9, it's attached. That W-9, I'm looking at it now. I'm not going to put my business out here now. Right. That W-9 is fully filled out, written hand. I printed it out and listen, did what I had to do, sent it in. The art department on October 8th said, hey, Tahir, thank you for sending your W-9. Angie is our production coordinator. So they gave me confirmation that she is a part of the team. How she got my email, I do not know. Right. But you'll be receiving payment from her. I said, okay, cool. I will send her your W-9. If you have any more questions or concerns, please let me know. I said, no, thank you. Thank you for clarification. That was October 8th. November 12th. I still have not received payment. I've called several times and emailed and no response. This was the communication I had with Angie. This is crazy. Why? And I shouldn't have had to go through all of this.
Yeah, that's too much.
Hi, Tahir. I was forwarded. This is November 28th.
Oh.
No, excuse me. This is September 28th. Okay. So September 28th, Angie said, I was forwarded invoices for your services from our art department for single Black female movie. Can you please forward along your W-9? Right here in the email, it says, hi, October 8th. They said, thank you. We'll be forwarding your, W-9 over to Angie. Okay. Right. So they said they'll be sending it to her. So I hit her up and said, this is November 1st. Okay. So November, I'm throwing it out of time, I'm sorry. But November 1st, I said to Angie, hi, I still have not received payment. Is everything okay? I sent my W-9 in and was assured that you received it. Yeah. And on November 12th, I emailed the people that I was emailing in the first place and said, what I said earlier, I still have not received payment. And then I said I was just contacted. On November 12th, I said I was just contacted and was asked to email these people. Angie contacted me, I think through phone, and we talked on the phone, and she was like, actually, I'm not even on that project anymore. So she was like, I sent all your information to these people. And this production company is called Pop Films, I believe. Let's make sure the camera is on.
It's on.
This production company is called Pop Films, and she gave me 2 different email addresses on November 12th, and I was like, okay, cool. Since y'all are communicating all weirdly, then I'm going to put everybody, I said, So I emailed the people that I was initially in contact with and said, I just was contacted and asked to email these people.
Right.
And put their email addresses in there. I emailed those people. And then I just let it go because I was like, it's November. I did that in September. In September, it was only $150. At this point, it's like, what the hell am I going to do? Even if I was to get a lawyer at that time, even if I was to get a lawyer, I was like, I would spend more money on a lawyer than it's only. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, they know better. They would never just put an image, like use somebody's work without release and payment, etc. But they did. They did.
I'm over here thinking, like, first of all, I don't like that because you shouldn't be running around for your money. You understand me? I don't like that.
And let me tell you something. I will say this is my fault. Let me clarify. This piece is my fault. I never, even with regular clients, send images before payment. So I will say I should have never did that because I sent those images over that same day. But that was me just trying to be professional. I was excited. It's Lifetime. Right. I was like, all right, boom, here y'all go, right here. Y'all already was late doing this anyway, so let me hook y'all up. This is the thing. They would have had to come to me for them images, and then I would have been like, where's my money? Right. But I had already sent it to them because I was in good faith. And look at what that got me.
I'm thinking like credits-wise, at the end of the movie, I'm like,
something. I didn't get a call. I didn't get an email. I didn't get no release. No, I didn't get nothing. I got nothing. So much so that like I said, I forgot that it was even out because I'm like, they're not going to use my images. That's crazy. Why would they use my images? And to be clear, it was my work. These are my images, raw files. And these are the images that they used. Same ones. It was definitely my work. Lifetime stole my images without paying me. Lifetime took my work, my images as a photographer, and they did not pay me, and they used my images. Y'all tag Lifetime. Tag Lifetime. And if you want to know the full story, then go to my podcast to listen to everything that I'm telling you that's going to be told on the podcast. I'm messing up so bad because I'm angry.
You got it.
Let me relax. Go to the Real for Real podcast to hear the full story as to how all this occurred. That movie was a success. Where is my money? At this point, I need like residuals, damage, all these kinds of things. Because this was a simple thing that y'all fucked up.
Very simple. Very simple.
Let's go to the thoughts of the people. The thoughts of the person, rather. So this time with Thoughts of the People, I had my friend chime in, who's an actress, on my situation. And this is what she said.
First of all, I think it's really terrible that you did work and it was on syndicated television and you did not get paid for it. You should definitely get some lawyers involved to get your fucking cash, add some interest to it at this point, because that's really fucked up. But I think it's very important to note that the blame, I believe, really lies to the people who hired you, because it's their responsibility to get you paid if they hired you to do the work. And from what it sounds like they're our people. And that is just very, very triggering, because I'm an artist too. And I have found that a lot of times when I work with our people in a business capacity, it's a hot fucking mess. And it's really, really sad, because as a Black artist, I want to work with other Black individuals and make like-minded art. But it's hard when those other Black individuals on the production and the business side don't know what the fuck they're doing. So you're in an unprofessional environment. Yeah. You're in chaos. You don't get your money, which I've had that happen to me too, working with our people. And it's just really unfortunate, because like if I go work with some white people, I know at the very least I'm gonna get my cash. The check is going to go through. It ain't going to bounce. It's going to be on time. It ain't going to be deferred. I'm not going to have to run after somebody to get my money. And I just feel like we need to just get our shit together. If we want to conduct business, make sure you know how before you go pulling other people into it. And now you're in the situation.
Listen, I understand. Thank you so much for that, Shalia. And thank you for, just being a friend and understanding first of all, Gupta was on it, okay? Gupta was on point. But I agree with everything she said, except for the fact that I've dealt with a lot of white people too, and I find it to be the same. If you're incompetent, you're incompetent. I don't think it's a race thing. But I do find that with people of color or Black people, we get more lax because we're culturally used to each other. And there is something to be said for Black people not having a standardized work experience with all people of color. But I will say my entire life is supplied by Black people, and I almost never have those issues. So that's another reason why I had good faith, because it was shocking that I even went through that. I was like, wait, this happened to me? Yeah. With this? That was new for me. So, but thank you, Shalia. That was that was well said. And trust me, I will be doing some things around this. They don't know. But they will. And this won't happen to another Black photographer ever again. So, that was quick, but I want to get into the very last segment.
Seek, and ye shall find.
I want to end this podcast with this. I want everybody to have a lot more mindfulness. And this is the definition of mindfulness. Maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment through a gentle, nurturing lens. You just have to be mindful. This ties in with the understanding that I said in the first episode, the grace, and, it ties all in. But be mindful of yourself and other people. And if the people involved, the art director and Angie and Pop Film or whatever the company is called, and Lifetime, if everybody did their job appropriately and handled it correctly and had mindfulness, this wouldn't have happened. This shouldn't have happened. And it's unfortunate. But if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify podcasts, I want y'all to find me on social media at TheBLACKMedia or at Tahir Register. And I want y'all to tag Lifetime in all of my posts and say, where is his money? Hashtag, where is my money, Lifetime? Where is it? Because it's not right. It's not. It's not fair. You use those great quality images.
Provided by TheBLACKMedia.
Provided by Tahir Coleman Film and Photography. And I didn't get paid for that. Photographers out here make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm a Black artist who did a film, who helped a film have something in the film with starring 2 Black women leads. Yeah. And I didn't get paid. Not to mention there was a strike going on. There was a strike going on during that time. And the producers and the APs and the art directors, they all stopped working in Hollywood so they can get their money. And here it is. I still have it. And I thought they were not going to use the image. And they did. I'm going to say this again. Lifetime did not pay me, but they used my work, my intellectual property, my images that I took of Raven Goodwin. I thought they weren't going to use them, and they used them anyway, and I had no idea that they used them until recently. Yes, this is an old topic. I understand that. But it was just brought to my attention that they were even used. And nobody contacted me. Nobody said anything. So please tag Lifetime in this post and ask them, where's my money? This is what y'all do to Black artists, Lifetime? This is what we doing?
It's unbelievable. Really?
It's completely unbelievable. Yeah. You must have mindfulness. Be mindful of yourself and others. Try. At least try. My prayer is that I, through comedy, entertainment, and personal experiences, will help each and every listener seek understanding from one another. I will not always get it right. I will change my mind. I may even speak out of turn. But I do this with love, and I'm asking for grace to heal through conversations in a safe space, to tackle community issues that the truth will reveal with no circumlocution, just the real, for real. And we're off. I done got beside myself with this whole episode. I was supposed to talk about Drake and Beyonce.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Drake new album. Did you hear it?
I did not.
I didn't hear it either.
Okay.
But okay, Beyonce though. Let's real quick. Had to do this real quick. Beyonce set the world afire with that Renaissance.
Oh, okay.
Listen, people, July, I'm ready.
I feel that, but them covers, the magazine covers, those were absolutely
Sickler. It gave Renaissance.
Yeah, it did.
It gave Renaissance.
It did.
Listen, I didn't hear the Drake album yet. I don't listen to Drake like that, but this is what Shalia had to say about Drake.
I think Drake's album is the best album of all time. It is amazing, innovative, never before done. His vocals were immaculate. The production was A1. He deserves all of the Grammys. Everybody who says anything different is a hater. You don't understand. He's just on another wavelength, and just leave him alone. Shit.
Well, there you have it. You can listen to the uncensored version of The Real for Real on Apple or Spotify podcast. And soon, you'll be able to hear it everywhere.